All right, so I think I should be live on YouTube there now. Yeah. So we live on YouTube. All right, so let me come back on TikTok. Yeah, folks, so let's go. Daniel, what why? Daniel, what happened? I was waiting on you. Anyways, let me pull up this on YouTube. Daniel, what why? All right, so let's go. So we're looking at this series. Look, let's see how far we can get for January. This is January 20. Oops. This is January 2026. Let's see how far we can get with January 2026. All right, so share the life. So let's go. Let's start off. So this paper here, not too long I finished this paper with my class. You can see some of them in the live. Yeah, good night, everybody on YouTube and TikTok. So drop your answer. So the number 3, remember share the live, tell a neighbor, tell a friend, we beat the maths again. So the number 3.14063 written correct to 3 decimal place. This is a very popular question. So this one here you want to be able to, this is actually pie, piece of pie. So 3 decimal places. So we count 3 numbers after the decimal point. 1, 2, 3. All right, so the number, we look at the number after where we stop at. So it's 6, which is 5 and more. So that means we add 1 to the previous one. So this would be 3.14, 0 plus 1 is 1. So 3.141, which is B. Cool, calm, nice and easy marks. All right, so you're on YouTube as well if anybody wants to hop over. You know what, let me share this live on YouTube. Let me share this live to let me share this live to Facebook. Yeah, let me share this live on Facebook. All right. So we got B. Drop your answer for number 2. Let me share this live on Facebook. All right, let me just keep talking before TikTok ban me, because I know they love to ban my live. So let me just keep talking while I share this live. Multiple choice practice live. All right, good. So using the distributive property, 49 times 17 plus 49 times 3 is equal to. All right, so we got so this 49 is multiplying both this 3 and 17. So we can actually rearrange this and put this as 49. And then we put 17 plus 3 inside the bracket. This would be the same as 49 times 17 plus 49 times 3. So we know 49, 17 plus 3 will give me 20. So this is 49 times 20, which is the same as 49 multiplied by 20, which is simply A. A is the answer there. Very popular question to get the blood flowing. So next one, in standard notation, 208.06 is written as standard notation. Drop the answer. So we know standard notation, we want to ensure that this number here is greater than 1 but less than 10. So we just got 2 viable options, which is this and this. Um, so let's see, we got to move the decimal point two times. So this would be 2.0806. And you're always multiplying by 10 raised to a certain power. Now, the power that you raise the 10 to will depend on, how many times you move the decimal point. So we move 2 times to the left. So this will actually be a positive 2 power. And another way to determine if the number will be positive or negative, for example, the original number that we started out with is 208.06. This original number is greater than 1. So as long as the original number is greater than 1, then the power will always be positive. All right, if the original number start out with, like, for example, 0.0092 something is less than 1, then the power will be negative. All right, so this answer here is simply C. All right, nice and easy C. So let's look at base 10. Well, number 4, right? Why did I say base 10? So number 4 says this is a fresh question. I've never seen this one before. I've never seen this one. So this one is a freshie. So in base 10, the value of the digit 2 in the numerical 4231 base 8 is. So they want to know what is the value of this digit 2 in base 10. So that means you must convert this number here to base 10. So we know to convert this number to base 10, I'll write it 4231. I'll write it like that. And to convert this to base 10, I just got to multiply each one of these numbers by 8 raised to a certain power. All right, so 8 raised to a certain power since it's base 8. So we always start off with the 0 power, then we go to the first power, then the second power, and then the third power. And this is how we convert. All right, so we just want the value of the digit 2. So this will just be 8 to the second power times 2, because that is the value that I want. So 8 to the second power times 2. So 8 to the second power is the same as 864 times 2. And 64 times 2 would give me 2 4s 8, 2 6 12, 128, which is simply B. Nice and easy B. So some people on everybody on TikTok the same B. YouTube is saying C. Come on, YouTube. So item 5 refers to the following table, which shows the relationship between the number of matches an umpire officiates during a T20 tournament and the amount of money he earns. This is a fresh one as well, fresh. So we got a number of matches and we got the amount of money earned at the bottom. So it says, if the pattern continues, how much money would the umpire receive if he officiates 8 matches? So let's see. 61. How much on 61 would give me 73 by 61 plus? I have no calculator. Everything is mental and working. So 61 and 10 would give me 71, 61 and 12. So I add 12 here. And then I say I add another 12 here. Then I add another 12 here as well. So of course, for the 7th match, I gotta add 12 as well. So 97 plus 12. This will give me 9 and 109. That correct there? The math is correct. 109. Then I gotta add, for 8, I gotta add another 12. So let me add another 12. And this will give me 9 and 2, 11. 1 and 1, 2. So 121, which is simply B. All right, nice and easy. So we live on TikTok too, right? Shayob. Anyways, so share the live, share the live, share the live. Enough practice. There's no such thing as too much practice for maths. Anyways, Lalchan. There you go. So this is a popular one. There are 40 students in the class. Girls make up 60% of the class and 25% of the girls wear glasses. How many girls wear glasses? So this is a thing. So we know how to work this. So girls make up 60%, so we gotta find 60% of 40. Um, so 60 over 100 times 40. This zero go with that zero. This zero go with that zero. 6 times 4 is 24. And then girls, 25% of these here wear glasses. So 25 over 100 times 24. 25 ones, 25, 25 into 100, 4, 4 ones, 4, 4 into 24, 6. So this answer here is 6. So A. So the reason I go so fast with this one, because this is a very popular one. I feel as though I've worked this like 1,000 times, right? So this is a nice and easy one as well. If the number of elements in A is equal to M, then the number of subsets of A can be expressed by. So I know the formula for the number of subsets is 2 raised to the n power, where n represents the total number of elements we have. All right, and if in this case the total elements we have is m, so this formula will now be, instead of 2 raised to the n, because n is represented by m, we'll just say 2 raised to the m power, which is simply b. All right, nice and easy. Nice and easy giveaway marks there. YouTube, you're quiet. All right, so given that A is equal to 1, 3, 6, 9, 6, 8, 9, 12, 15, and B is equal to 6, 9, 12, which of the following statements about A and B is true? Which of the following is true? So B is a subset of A. B is a subset of A. That means everything in B can be found in A. Is that true? So let me see. We got 6 here, we got 6 here, we got 9 here, we got 9 here, we got 12 here, we got 12 here. So yeah, that is true. So A. Let me check out the other one though. A intersect B is an empty set. This here means empty set. So nah, that's not true. We got things in common with A and B. A and B are disjoint set. Nah. B is a complement of A. Nah. So A. This is a freshie buy. If I see they say, all these numbers, some people head would start to, zing, start to spin. All right. See all these numbers inside, it looks like an alien, eh? An alien with a set of eye. But nevertheless, item 9 and 10 refer to the following Venn diagram, which shows two intersecting sets. All right, according to the diagram, the number of elements in X union Y complement. So X union Y complement is, so they want basically all the numbers, oops. They basically want all the numbers outside, because this complement means outside of X union Y. Basically everything outside of these sets, right? In other words, they want everything outside, the number of elements outside. So we just got to count all these numbers we got outside. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we got 11, which is C. How we looking? How we looking TikTok and YouTube? All right. Which of the following best describes the element of the subset X intersect Y complement in the Venn diagram? So X intersect Y complement. So let me just erase this here. X intersect Y complement. So they basically want everything outside of Y and the intersection, which would be everything outside here, which would just be right. Let me double check this diagram for this intersection. Yeah, man. So we basically want everything outside the intersection and y, which will be just this piece here, right? Yeah, I'll have me double checking this here. So just these numbers we're dealing with. So you want to know which one best describes that. 2, 1, 2, and 4. Factors of 4. Factors of 4, yeah, 1, 2, and 4, they are factors of 4, so I'll go with A. Let me check out the others, factors of 12. So they got best in capital letter for a reason. So they got best in all capital letters for a reason because these here represent factors of 12 indeed, but they're not all the factors of 12. All right, so multiples of 4, nah, and definitely not the last one. All right, so let's be careful. Somebody said no, B, no, B, A, X intersect Y complement, just talking about this piece here alone. In the complement, the intersection is not included. All right, everything outside of Y and the intersection. Anyway, so the next one, which of the following pairs of set is an example of a disjoint set? So a disjoint set means there's nothing common between them, right? There's no intersection. All right. I think this is a giveaway one. Odd and even numbers. All right, so I'll go with D. Odd and even numbers. There's no either odd or even. You can't be odd and even. So odd and even will be a disjoint set. There's nothing common between them. All right. So D is the answer there. Let me see what else we got. I don't really like these sets question, eh? These sets question. I don't know. Yeah, they'd be good with sets in paper one. So 12, all of the students in a class play Scrabble or checkers or both. Say 36% of the students play Scrabble only, and 48% of the students play checkers only. Which of the following Venn diagram is most accurate? Most. So the thing is, they put most in capital letter because probably two of these things here could represent that, but they want the most accurate. So the fact is 36% of students play check or play Scrabble only. So that means this 36 got to be right here. All right. And because it said they play Scrabble, checkers, or both, that means it should be an intersection. All right. So viable options would be A and C. Right. Those are the viable options. Anyway, so 36% of students play Scrabble only. 48% of students play checkers only, so that 48 got to be there. And of course, since we're talking about the percentage, it has to be out of 100. So, 100 minus, if you add up 36 and 48, that will give me like 36 plus 48. That should give me 4, and it should give me 84. So 100 minus 84 is 16. So 16 will be the intersection. That is the piece that remaining because it's 100%. Percentage is out of 100. So A is the answer. All right, let me take a scroll through the chat. All right. So now we in the part that will test your multiplication and finding percentage skill. CXC, they love a percentage question in paper one, yeah? Maybe I should do a check and see how many times I find percentage in this paper. Let me see, we find percentage anytime? All right, yeah, we find one time, two times, right? So let's see how many times we're dealing with percentage in this paper. So we do a check. So we'll keep checking, keep scoring the chat, right? So we have one time, and this will be two. Number 30 will make us the second time. So excluding sales tax, how much will be saved when a video that costs $12 is sold at 20% discount? So they want to know how much will be saved if a video that costs $12 is sold at 20% discount. How much is saved? So of course, the 20% discount will be saved. All right, so we just got to find 20% of this. So this is 20 over 100 multiplied by 12. This 0 go with that 0. Let me just multiply. 2 times 12 is 24. 24 divided by 10 will give me 2.4. So 2.4 would be simply C. Right? $2.40 would be saved. 2.4 is the same as 2.40. All right. So that is twice we found percentage. So y'all keep counting the chat, right? Twice. So let's carry on. At a store, 3 cents on every dollar is spent. Well, it's 3 cents on every dollar spent is charged as sales tax. How much is paid as sales tax on a costume which costs $196? So $196. So 3 cents on every dollar. 3 cents on every dollar would be a dollar would be 100 cents, right? So 3 out of a hundred, $1 is 100 cents, right? Because 0.01 is 1 cent, 0.02 is 2 cents. So 100 cents would be $1. So they want to know how much is paid as sales tax on a costume that costs 196. So we got to find 3 over 100 times 196. All right. So so this 100, this 0 here will bring this decimal point 1 time. This 0 will bring this point 1 time. So we have now 3 multiplied by 1.96. Normally CXC would give you these questions and would cancel out. But for some reason, they didn't give us some zeros here to cancel out. They were very wicked, eh? Um, So this will be 3 times this. No need to do any other big fancy working. I know 3 times 1.96 will give me approximately this answer here. I know definitely can't give me this, definitely can't give me that, definitely can't give me that. All right, so no need to continue working. The answer is obvious. So 5.88. So we can count this as percentage. Nah, man, let's not count that. We are 2. So the cash price of a television set is $350. When bought on hire purchase, deposit of $35 is required, followed by 12 monthly installments of $30. How much is saved by paying cash? Daniel monitoring the chat in YouTube. All right, Daniel, love to see it. Love to see it, Daniel. Anyways, hire purchase. Hire purchase is when you pay down some money. Then you collect the item and then you pay equal monthly installments until a certain amount of time. So let's see, 330 is if you pay cash. Higher purchase would be you put on $35 and then you pay 12 monthly installments of $30. So 30 times 12. This would be 0. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 0 is 0. 236. So 360 is how much you pay in monthly installments plus the $35 that you put on. So for higher purchase, you will pay $395. So they want to know how much is saved by paying cash. So 395 subtracts 350 will give us 0 from 5 is 5, 5 from 9 is 4. So $45 is saved by paying cash, which is D. Yeah. All right, tell me here's this piece here. A loan of $8,000 was paid back in 2 years in monthly installments of $400. The interest on the loan as a percentage was, so let me see, 2 years they pay back. This year is monthly installments of 400. So 2 years, 2 years is how many months by 24 months? So 400 multiplied by 24. If my memory serves me correctly, it should give me 9,600. Let me still do it out. Don't trust my memory. So 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 4 is 8. 4 times 0 is 0, 4 times 0 is 0, 4 times 4 is 16. So 9,600. So this is how much you pay after 2 years. So they want the interest. The interest is the extra money. And that is where these little keywords will help you to understand these questions. The interest is the extra money that you pay. Say the loan was 800 and you pay back 9,600. The extra money that you pay would be 9,600 minus 8,000 is 1,600. So what I can do, 1,600 over the loan that you took, which is 800 times, since you're talking about percentage, we'll multiply it by 100. This 0 go with that 0, this 0 go with that 0, 8 ones 8, 8 into 16. All right, hold up. Let me cancel out back. This 0 go with that 0. Oh, this is 8,000, right? Not 800. Wow. So this 0 go with that 0. This 0 go with that 0. 8 ones 8. 8 into this will be 2. So the answer here is 20. All right, so D is the answer. 20%. Yeah, 8,000. Forgot the 0. All right. A man pays 60 cents. So this is how much percentage questions we do by. Let's say 4. Right? So a man pays 60 cents for every 200 meters cube of gas used plus a fixed charge of 178.75 plus a fixed charge. If he pays $178.75 when he uses 55,000 meters cube of gas, how much is the fixed charge? So this is a kind of a repeat, but they change it up a bit, Change it up a bit. So let me see. We gotta find how much is the fixed charge. So we see for every 200 meters, he pays for every 200 meters cube, he pays 60 cents. So let's see how many 200 we can find in 55,000, right? And then we multiply that by 60, and that will give us how much he paid. And then you gotta add on the fixed charge. So we subtract that answer from this here, and that will give us the fixed charge. So let's see, 55,000 divided by 200. This 0 go with that 0, this 0 go with that 0. 2 into 55, 550. Let me see, 2 into 550, I think that would be 275. 75 and 75 is 150. 200 and 200 is, yeah, 550. So 275. So 275, this is how many 200s we can find in that. So that means we got to multiply this now by 60 cents. So we know 60 cents is the same as $0.60, or we can say $0.6. Same thing as 60 cents. So we multiply this by, so we can carry this out to the end here. So we multiply this by 6. So that would be 6 5s 30. 6 7s 42. 6 7s 42. Yeah, the math's correct. 6 7s 42 plus 3 is 45. 6 2s 12. 12 and 4. 12 and 4, 16. 12 and 4, 16, yeah. So because I carried this out one time, I got to bring back in the thing one time. So this is $165 is what we pay. All right, this is how much we pay without the fixed charge. So to find the fixed charge now, it's 178.75. Subtract 165. I just added 2 zeros there. So common sense will tell me the answer is A, right? Because that's the only one that got 75 cents, because 5 from 0 is 5, 7 from 0, 0 from 7 is 7. I know that's the only one that got 75 cents. So 5 from 8 is 3. This 6 from 7 is 1. So 13.75, which is A. Whew, a lot of work there, boy. A lot of work, a lot of work, a lot of work. So the next one there, the percentage profit gain by a shopkeeper. So percentage again, this is what, 5? 5 questions in percentage. The percentage profit gained by a shopkeeper who bought a football for $15 and sold it for $18 is. So if he bought it for 15 and he sold it for 18, that means the shopkeeper made a profit of $3. So to find the percentage, it's 3 over the money that he bought it for. So 3 over 15 multiplied by 100. So we do some canceling out. 5 can go, all right, let me cancel out. 3 ones 3, 3 into 15, 5. 5 ones 5, 5 into 100 is 20. So 1 times 20 is 20. So the man made a profit of 20%. Are we looking at YouTube? TikTok, are we looking? All right. All right, all right. We cooking. We beating the maths. We beating the maths. We beating the maths or the maths beating us TikTok. YouTube, we beating the maths or the maths beating we. We beating the maths or the maths beating we. I'll start back that show, by the way. I'll start back that show. We on break. Start back the show after CSEC. I already beat any maths. Love to see it. All right, so a man's basic wage for a 40-hour week is $160. He is paid $5 per hour for overtime. If he works 6.5 hours of overtime in a certain week, then his wage for that week would be. So let me see. This is what the man earn every week, 160. And then he's paid $5 overtime. So, and in this week he worked 6.5 hours overtime. So that means we gotta multiply 5 by 6.5. So I will multiply 5 or 6.5. I know that is the same as 6.5. So 6.5 times 5. I can set this down as I can carry this to the end. So I can have 65 multiplied by 5. That would be 5 5s, 25. Put in the 5 there. 5 times 6 is 30 plus 2 would be 32. So because I carry this thing out one time, I got to bring it back in one time. So this is 32.5 is how much money he made over time. So I add this to his 160. 160 plus 32.5. This will give me 0 and 2 is 2, 1, 192. So D is the answer there. So man said the maths beating we. Man, sweet face self, man. Don't say we, say me. Oh, I don't say we, man. You don't say we, man. In secondary school, we would have said kill the pig. And people say we, right? Kill the pig. Not we. Oh my, I wonder if I say, oh my, would I be banned if I say that on TikTok? Oh my. Hopefully they don't understand the accent. I apologize, TikTok. Anyways, amount accumulated on 2,500 invested for 2 years at a rate of 5% per annum. Compound interest is. So compound interest is different from simple interest. Compound interest is where you are, if you want to invest something, you want it to be in compound interest. You want the money that you get back to be in compound interest because you will get back more. Simple interest, it's easy. You just find 5% of whatever, you know. But compound interest, the amount of years that you invest will have an impact. So the smart thing to do here would be to not use the formula. I genuinely, as I stand there, I can't remember the formula for compound interest because I don't, as a math teacher and a math student, I don't really teach students to cram formulas. Teach them, to work these things without formula because the formula will be no use in a paper one. But anyway, so we find 5% for the fourth year, right? We find 5% of this year for the fourth year. Because it's 2 year, we got to do it separately. So this is 5 over 100 multiplied by 25. These two zeros would cancel out here. 5 times 25 would be 125. So this 125, this is the extra money that you get. So we got to add this here now to the money that we start out with. So 25 plus 125. This will be 5, this will be 2, this will be 6. So this is how much money I have after 1 year. So this is 1 year. So for the second year now, we got to find 5% of this new amount here. So 5 over 100 times 2,625. So we do some canceling out. I would go down the easy route and just say this zero will bring this back one time. This zero will bring this back one time. So I'll have now 5 times 26.25. I can work that out. So let me work that out in the corner here. So I just carry this out to the end 2 times. So this is 2,625 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25. This will be 5. 5 2 is 10 and 2 12. Put this in there. 5 times 6 is 30 plus 1 is 31. 5 2 is 10. 10 and 3 13. So remember, I carry out the point 2 times, so I got to bring it in back 2 times. So this is 131.25. This is the extra money after 2 years. So of course, we got to add this here to the money that we got at 1 year. So this is 26. So let me finish out the maths here. So this is 2625 plus 131.25. So I can already know the answer is C, because only C alone got 25 cents. So this will be 25, 5 and 1, 6, 3 and 2, 5, 1 and 6, 7, and 2. So the answer is C, right? Ooh, a lot of work there by CXC was wicked with this question, by. Very wicked, eh? CXC was wicked. What's going on in the chat on TikTok? The person's laughing, right? I know I'm not that funny. I assume there's a conversation going on. Anyways, they were wicked. This is a repeat question. Well, okay. All right, so that was a lot of work there, boy. Anyway, so let's go. Megan normally saves X dollars each month, but in August she saved $4 less than twice her usual amount. In August, she saved. All right, so she normally save X dollars every month. But in August, she saved $4 less than twice her usual amount. So twice our usual amount would be 2 times X, and $4 less, it would be a minus 4. So this is C. All right, don't be carried away and put D. Somebody's asking me, I have a YouTube channel. My YouTube channel name is My YouTube channel name is Kingslayer 2982. Right? On YouTube, type in Kingslayer Maths 2982. That's my YouTube name. Right? Kingslayer. Anyway, so they want this to be simplified. This is 3 minus 2 over bracket x plus 1. Right? All right. So we gotta distribute this 2, right? Distribute this -2 throughout here. So this will be 3. So -2 times x would be -2x. -2 times 1 would be -2. And then I put the like terms together, which will be the two numbers. So this will be 3 minus 2 minus 2x. 3 minus 2 is simply 1 minus 2x, which is simply D. And my YouTube name is my name, right? Uh, and I hope nobody went and searched for Kingslayer. I ain't seen the name, bro. Ah, so the YouTube name is my name, right? Do I have a name I have on TikTok? I have it all over the place. Right? It's not Kingslayer, right? Somebody went and searched for Kingslayer. Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my. Wow. Anyways, so m star n is equal to the square root of m cubed minus n squared. All right, so they want 5 star 2. So we just got to do some substitution here. So this would be the square root. Wherever we have m, we put the 5. So this is 5 cubed minus 2 squared. All right, so this would be the square root of, so we know 5 cubed is what? 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5 is how much by? By 25 times 5. 25 times 5 is how much? 125? Yeah, man, 125. So 125 minus 2 twos, 4. So 125 minus 4, that would be 121. And you know when we square root 121, we'll get a beautiful value of 11, which is D. All right. Let me pin the YouTube name. Hey, that is a YouTube name. You're going to subscribe to me on YouTube. All right. Or subscribe if you're not subscribed as yet. Right? Do me a favor. Go and subscribe. All right, good. Um, so let's go. Given that 39 people work 5 hours per day can repair a road in 12 days. In how many days would 30 people complete the same repair if they work 6 hours per day at the same rate? This one here is a this one here is a this one here is this one here cause if you do some calculation, right? Probably if there's an easy way to work this, but this one will cause you to do some calculation. So let's see. We got 39 people and they work 5 hours per day and they repair a road in 12 days. So let me attach a figure to the amount of work that they have to do, right? Let me attach a figure. 39 people work 5 hours per day, complete a repair in 12 days. So I'll multiply 39 times 5 times 12. And I don't have a calculator to do this, so I gotta take the long way out. And I gotta do 39 times 5. So that would be 9 fives, 4 to 5, 9 fives, 4 to 5, 4 to 5. 3 fives, 15, and 4. 15 and 4 is how much by 19? So 195, and then I gotta multiply this by 12 now. If you had a calculator, we would have just punched in all of this here. Pop, 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 pop. But no, we don't have that. You gotta do it the traditional way. So this was 0 here, put a 0 under the 2. So 1 times 5 is 5, 1 times 9 is 9, 1 times 1 is 1. 2 fives, 10. 2 nines are 18 and 1 19. 2 ones are 2 and 1 3. So when I add all this together, I get 0, 5, and 9 would be 14. I put the 1 there. 1 and 9 is 10, 10 and 3, 13. So I put a 3 there and I put the 1 there, 1 and 1, 2. So 2,340. You can see it's the work that they got to do, right? That the 39 people will take. Now, they ask us, in how many days would 30 people complete the same repair for 6 hours? So what I can do, I can do the same thing like what I did here. Multiply 30 by the 6 hours, and then they want how many days. So I don't know how many days. That is the one I want to calculate. So I'll just say X as the number of days. So I'll multiply 30 by 6. This will give me 6 times 0 is 0, 6 3 is 18. And then I'll multiply this 180 by the amount of days, which will be 180x. So now I can equate these two. 2,340 is equal to 1,080x. And then because it's the same amount of work that they do, so that's why I equate them. So to find the amount of days, I just got to take over this 180 and divide this answer that we got here. So 2,340 divided by 180 will give me the amount of days. So this 0 go with that 0. 18 into 234. I don't know much by it. So remember, we don't have calculators, so I'll have to do this mentally. So let me divide. Let me use the normal division route. So I can say 234 divided by 18. So 18 can go into 2, 18 can go into 23 one time. 18 times 1 would be 18. So I subtract this, I'll end up with 18 from 23 is how much by 18 and 4, 22. So 5. And I bring down the 4. So 18 can go into 54. How many times? 18 and 18 is 36. So 5 times, I think. 18 fives. Let me see. 18 times 5 is. How much 18 can go into 54? Three times, right? 83 is. So 18 times 3 is 54. So, yeah, so 13 is the answer. C. All right. So guess what I did? So yeah, 13 is the answer. So yeah, this one here call for a lot of work, eh? Gotta take your time here. Right, 13. Anyway, so let me erase this piece here so I can work this piece. So 25. 5n plus 1 times 5n plus 2 is the same as, so I know the bases are the same. So I just put back the base and I add the powers. So I add n plus 1 plus n plus 2. All right. So I know n and n would give me 2n, and 2 and 1 would give me plus 3. So this is 5 raised to the 2n plus 3, which is b. All right. This is 2n plus 3. B is the answer. Did I pin my YouTube name? Oh, no, I didn't. Oh, shucks. I didn't pin my YouTube name. All right, let me pin the YouTube name again. Oops. Yeah, y'all do me a favor and subscribe to that YouTube name after this live. How y'all gonna subscribe? Do me a favor. Anyway, so if 3 plus x over 2 is equal to 1, the value of x is, all right, the value of x is, so we got 3 plus x over 2 is equal to 1. They want the value of x. So we just got to solve x. I'll carry over this 3. So this will be x over 2 is equal to, this 3 is adding, take the will subtract. So 1 minus 3. 1 minus 3 is a negative 2. So 2 is now divided. I take the will multiply. So I'll have x is equal to negative 2 times 2. Hence x is equal to a negative 4, which is simply b. All right. So this one here now, p is equal to 3, 7, q is equal to negative 2, 5. The vector 2q minus p. So CXC was wicked with this question. Some people would run and go and put 2p minus this. They would while up and make that mistake. But they're actually saying it's 2q, right? So it's 2 times q. So 2q, let me find 2q for us, is equal to 2 times negative 2, 5. So this would be 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. 2 times 5 is 10. So that would be that minus q now. So negative 4, 10 minus 3, 7. So I do it piece by piece. So negative 4 minus 3 and 10 minus 7. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Tick tock, humble. What tick tock going on with? Tick tock, humble. Live will end. We've detected inactivity. All right, let me just solve this puzzle. All right, YouTube, yeah, give me a second, right? Let me just solve this puzzle on TikTok. Let me solve this puzzle that TikTok is having me do. TikTok is crazy, yo. TikTok is crazy. Anyways, so I ain't able TikTok. Let me just continue on YouTube. Anyway, so this will be anyway TikTok. So this will be -7. 10 minus 7 is 3. So it's -7/3, which is D is the answer. So I said leave them on TikTok. Yeah, you're right. Let's leave them. Let me leave them on TikTok. I enable TikTok. TikTok had me fixing some puzzle, right? For me to continue the life, which was crazy. TikTok had me fixing a puzzle because they said they discovered inactivity on the live. By the way, TikTok, y'all hear me? Y'all hear me clear? That was crazy, yo. Anyways, item 28 refers to the following diagram of a parallelogram in which EF is parallel to HG and EG is parallel to FG. EF is equal to K, EH is equal to M. They want to find EG. So EG is E to G. So to move from E to G, we just got to move from E to K. Sorry, E to F, which is represented as K. And then you move from F to G, which is represented as M, because they're going in the same direction as M and they're parallel. So this is K plus M, which is simply A, right? A. All right. So let's go. This is a fresh one by if P Q plus 2, 3, S minus 1 is equal to 3, 1, 3, 2. Then the values of P, Q, and S are, so you see P is equal to 3. So that is a giveaway. So P is equal to 3, so we know our viable options would be C and D, because those are the only ones in which P is equal to 3. Because we're dealing with equal matrices, all right? Equal matrices means the corresponding elements are equal. So you have 3 is equal to 3. P is equal to 3. So next thing we want to find is Q. So let's find for Q. So Q, so we see Q plus, so we see Q plus 2 is equal to 1. Hence, Q would be equal to 1. We take over the 2 to become minus 2. So Q is equal to 1 minus 2 is a -1. So Q is -1. So you see D. D is the answer. Right? Let's solve for S still though. We don't have to continue. Let's solve for S. So we see S. So S minus 1 is equal to, hold on, did I do the right thing? Yeah. So S minus 1 is equal to 2. So S would be equal to 2. We carry over this -1, it become +1. So S is equal to 3. So yeah, D is the answer. And the last one for tonight, because I stop at 30. I ain't able to do this whole paper. All right, so the last one for the night, the determinant of X is, so we know to find determinant, we just multiply 2 times -4 minus 1 times 7. So 2 times -4 is a -8. Minus 1 times 7 is 7. So -8 minus 7 would be -15. All right, so the answer is A. So some people, because of this simple not knowing how to add or subtract direct numbers without the calculator, they lose some marks here because some people go and put 1 and -1 and so on. But you gotta be good with directed numbers, eh? You gotta be good with directed numbers if you want to rack up these full marks in paper one. All right. So yeah, that is the answer there. So yeah, join me tomorrow. We back again tomorrow. Tomorrow is what? Monday? Yeah, back again tomorrow night. Remember, follow if you're not following, so you'll be notified when I'm live. Subscribe to me on YouTube. I usually go live there as well, right? Both YouTube and TikTok. Right? So if you're not